Good evening, friends. Hey, we're live again tonight. This is episode 110, and we're live like we have been for the last 110 days. We're still going, blew right past 100, so we're glad to have you here tonight. We're here in Texas. It is almost 11:30 p.m. on Monday night. Hope you had a great weekend. Want to let you know, if you're watching the replay, hang here with us. We've got some good information to share with you about the cryptocurrency space. It's not a place where you can or where you should try, in my opinion, to try to get rich quick, but nonetheless, I think it is one of the best ways to grow your financial holdings. And if you just hang in there and go about it the right way, then I've found, actually, in just 2 months of doing it, that you can really see some good returns. So I'm honestly relatively new at this point, about 2 months into my own journey. So you get to follow along with me as I learn, as I grow. I'm learning from my audience. Actually, I've got a very engaging audience, so I appreciate that. If you're joining for the first time tonight, if you're watching the replay, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and go ahead and turn on notifications. That way you'll know every time I go live. We will typically also put out there on Twitter that we're going live, and what I'll do right now is bring up the information so you can see up in the top right how you can connect with me on Twitter and on Instagram at Shane Trammel. So without further ado, we want to talk tonight about some good altcoins right now tonight, on what is today's date? On May 10th. And of course, if you're watching this on the replay, it could be a different set of altcoins on that day, but I think you'll be able to get some general ideas as well on some things you can do. I'm going to share some websites that I believe will give you some insight in the future, some things that I've learned that are new. And hey, Mad Dog, good evening, my friend. Thanks for joining. I want to talk about, there's a ton, right? There's a ton of altcoins, and altcoin is just a catch-all phrase that's used a lot to basically describe technically any cryptocurrency other than Bitcoin. So Bitcoin being the granddaddy of them all and the forerunner. Bitcoin kind of gets to be in its own little world, and everything else is considered an altcoin. So, hey, Alexander, Shiba Inu is the best opportunity we have. Well, possibly. Just be careful. That's basically, from what I understand, was listed on Binance, among others, and Binance, even today, if I caught it right, had to temporarily shut down all trades. I don't know why, but of course, Robinhood has had that problem in the past. Voyager has had that problem in the past, so I'm not 100% certain. The Shiba Inu is not in my list of 10, but by all means, take a look into it and just, make sure that you're, have done all your research. I'm sticking with, some of the ones that have been around for a little bit longer, and I am going to talk tonight about VeChain some and Cardano. It's no mystery to anyone that has been watching me over the last 2 months, more so maybe the last month, as I've learned more, done my own research, and come to the conclusion that these two and some others are coins that I want to be invested in, for at least medium term. And what I mean, I'll put anything that's over a year, medium term, long term, maybe 3 to 5, but definitely VeChain and Cardano, I think, are good buys today. I'm going to show you here in a minute where it's really kind of interesting. They both dipped at almost exactly the same time. I cannot explain that, but that would have been the optimal time, at least today, to buy them. They've both been doing really well this week until today. They had a pretty good dip, and we're going to talk through that some. So let's get right into, we'll just start with VeChain for no particular reason. But, and by the way, I'm using, just because I like some of the features on this graph, I'm using Coinbase website. I have a Coinbase account, but I've not actually bought anything on there. But what I have done, this is just digressing a little bit, and if you haven't used Coinbase, you may want to do this just for the fun of it. I went through and did their, you can basically take these short quizzes, if you will, and learn about different tokens and some of the just different aspects of blockchain, and you actually win some coins. I mean, it didn't take that long. I got basically almost $30 worth of crypto today, and I switched it all into Matic. So Matic is another one that I'm going to be investing more in right now. What I have in there is what I basically got for free today, and so that is on Coinbase. That's the only thing I have on Coinbase right now. Just wanted you to know, I use mostly Robinhood, if for no other reason that's where I started, and you can't really transfer anything out yet without selling it. I have my Ethereum there right now. I don't want to sell it. I want to hold on to it, but I'm pretty sure that when I add to my Ethereum portfolio or incremental, I'm probably going to do that on Voyager. So Voyager is my the place that I'm liking the most now. They did have an issue yesterday. They're still having growing pains, or it might have been today, where the app was down a little bit. This is not an advertisement for Voyager by any means, but I think it's promising. I think that platform is promising. I'm in a wait and see point right now. So VeChain, again, currently is at 20 cents. But what I wanted to show you, so you can kind of see that all day long, not a ton, but all day long, it has been basically mostly on a downward slope. So over 24 hours, it's lost 12%. But if we look at, before I go any further, for the month, it's 50. And for the year, it's 4,000, almost 5,000. And the fundamentals for VeChain are excellent, has a very good track record, some really good partnerships with BMW, Salesforce.com. Those are the two that come to mind right now that I have in my brain. But a lot of good things. So, again, I've learned a lot in 2 months, and I started out talking about Dogecoin because that's what I started investing in. I don't currently own any. I may actually buy back into that, but I have moved on from Dogecoin with regards to the coin that will quote unquote make me rich. I hope that it still makes people rich that maybe have a lot of it and they're still holding, waiting for that elusive dollar maybe, or for some people maybe they're even looking for 90 cents. It's been as high as I believe 75, maybe 78, and so I'm not down on Dogecoin, trust me, but I'm also not exclusive to Dogecoin. And so back to VeChain again. Let's go back to the 24 hour. Again, if we look here, it dipped to its lowest for the day at 3:05 p.m. and it went down to 18 cents, almost 19 cents. So what's funny about that, I'm going to go now to Cardano, which is the other one that I want to talk about briefly, and literally at exactly the same time, this one dropped also to its lowest. So it's possible that, I at times was looking at my portfolio when I could, and of course I saw that things were off today. I also know with Ethereum, for example, that based upon a little bit of research that I did, it turns out that today there was quite a bit of liquidations happening from those that went long on Ethereum, but with leverage, right? 10 times or 2 times, 5 times excuse me, 10 times leverage, people trying to, put their money out there or get more with less, and backfired. And, a lot of the whales are able to basically force people's hands. And so if you're buying with leverage, just be, cautious, be aware that, for most of us, people with a lot more money than us can, in essence, force people's hands, cause their accounts to be liquidated, and then now that makes more available to them, honestly, to buy, and that puts downward pressure on the price, and it's going to go down. I mean, Ethereum today, I think, early in the day, or at least yesterday, late yesterday, reached an all-time high, but it went back down to, where did it go? Well, it says now 38, but that's 20, since it's a moving 24-hour, I think it went down as low as 37. And, possibly Ethereum even was a good buy at that dip. I think many people think that it's going to 5,000, possibly before the end of this month, almost assuredly next month. And it doesn't make a lot of sense in some ways. A lot of people talk about how expensive it is, in essence, for the gas fees for all of these transactions that go over the Ethereum network. Of course, you may know Ethereum's working on in essence, an upgrade to the blockchain, which will move it to a proof of stake, and gas fees will be cheaper, transactions will be faster. There's a lot of layer 2 solutions. Matic is one of those that's helping with basically having parallel blockchains that run faster and then integrate at some point in time with the Ethereum blockchain to complete that transaction. Anyway, I digress, but Ethereum took a pretty good hit today with regards to where it has been last several days, just going up and up and up. I bought in around 35. Glad that I did. At one point I was up 112% on my portfolio, and that feels really good. And of course, when during the day today, when it wasn't so good, that dropped down to about 96, but still very happy. And I have to say, like I said last night, want all of my Dogecoin compadres, those that are still very bullish on Dogecoin. I wish everyone all the best with their investment in that. And, I hope it gets to $1. I hope it gets beyond. I think it's interesting. And since it's an altcoin, we'll talk about it, although it's not one of my top 5 or so at this point in time. But, I think it's interesting, if we're honest, that this announcement that basically, and I don't fully understand how this would be the case, but I guess the Doge 1, I guess it's called, the rocket that they're going to be sending to the moon to, that Elon Musk with SpaceX is being paid basically to do that, it's going to be funded with Dogecoin. So I don't, that's interesting to me, but here's the reality. It had zero impact on the price today that I'm aware of. It certainly wasn't significant. Or if it did have an impact, I'm not watching it quite as closely as I have in the past. If it did have an impact, it was very short-lived, because we're at 48 right now. And again, I hope it gets higher. But let's get back to VeChain for a minute. I am going to get to your comments. Again, I thought it was really interesting that it dipped down, that both VeChain and Cardano literally at the same time got to the lowest point. It's very possible that there were other altcoins that did the same thing. These two are in my portfolio, so watching those a little bit closer. But I think at 20 that I still would say, although this is not financial advice, I have to say that, but I would still say that VeChain is a very good option for your portfolio at 20. And I think it's got, honestly, if if we're honest, or if I'm honest with myself, a lot more upside, for example, versus Dogecoin. Now, Dogecoin's more fun, but like I said last night, at least this is just me personally, I'm more interested in optimizing the return of my portfolio and less concerned about quote unquote having fun doing it, because there's a lot of other things I can do to have fun, with a portfolio that's hopefully returning. Now, when you compare, obviously over the year, yes, Dogecoin has still outperformed almost anything, but that's compared to a very, very low price, and many, many people didn't get in at those super low prices. We've got people that got in at 35, 40, 50, even 60. I was saying leading up to Saturday Night Live when it was around 60, my investment opinion was to not buy in at that point. I'm not suggesting at all that people were following my advice, but that was just what I was thinking. So let's see if we've got some comments here, and then we will get back to showing you some of the other things. So we do have, so Alexander is still thinking that Shiba Inu is the next big coin runner. A lot of hype and steam. Yes, I agree. Here's the problem I have with that, and this is, again, me and what I've learned for me based upon my goals, my, just the way I'm wired, my strategy, all of that. I don't have the time or the energy to try to time these high-flying coins like a Dogecoin, like the Safe Moon, like the Shiba Inu. I can guarantee you there's going to be a new one coming out. I won't say every day, but very often it's going to get hyped. People are going to, if they haven't seen the return, there are already people that were, maybe not a lot, but enough to make waves. A lot of people that were on the Dogecoin train already got off of that. We're on the Safe Moon train, already got on that, onto the Shiba Inu train. And hey, I hope that they're successful. I think that's very, I think you have to be very good at timing the market, and some of those can be short-lived and level out at a point, and hopefully you get out of there without losing a lot of money. I'm in it for more of a long-term approach. I want to be able to buy coins, and maybe you think that the Shiba Inu is one of those, but I want to be buying coins that I can sit on for a year or 2 years and retire off of that, or be able to be basically free to do whatever I want to do. So you skimmed, so you're day trading that. So that I'll say, if you have the time, I don't think is necessarily a bad idea, but here's what I have learned, and it takes building up a little bit, and that's exactly what I did, or how it worked out with me with Dogecoin. I made enough. Could have made a lot more if I'd waited longer, but again, like I've said, I'm not crying over spilt milk. It's still all worked out for me. I was able to get enough Ethereum to day trade Ethereum, and for several days there, we're talking $200, $300 swings, and you can make some pretty good money that way with something that, if you get stuck with it, and what I mean with if you get stuck with it, if you are at a point where you can't turn it around again, then you just stop and you hold it, and that's exactly what I ended up doing. I could have gotten in probably a little bit lower even had I stopped a little bit sooner with regards to the day trading, but I am, at least for me, in a really good spot. I think another one, but it would be costly to initially start. But if I had 2 Bitcoin, I guarantee you I could make $3,000 a day, most likely. But my strategy with that would be, if I did a couple of 3 trades in a day, maybe it's $1,000 swing. It swings $2,000, $3,000, and today over $4,000 swing. But my strategy would always be basically to, if I get at a point where it jumps up enough in between my positions, then I would want to be in a position where I just hold, and possibly when it dips again, buy in some more and start kind of doing that day trading again. But like I said in the video a few days ago, which was titled "What I Learned from Day Trading Ethereum," of those coins, tokens that you want to keep a long position on, you want to keep enough of those out of play so that you've still got something there to grow and appreciate. But that's just me. Found a lot by doing. Pancake has trash today, slow and unreliable. Are you saying the actual app itself? I've heard some similar comments, I think, about it. This decentralized, or these decentralized exchanges, DEX, they actually scare me. I'm sure that they mostly work, but I've heard of people complaining about the gas fees on them. Heard people talking about the transaction times on them. It's one thing to think about how amazing the blockchain is in one sense with regards to there being less bias and all those kind of things that we have to deal with when we, let's say for a loan, where we have to fill out an application and all that kind of stuff. But here's the thing that still scares me a little bit about all this. It's all done by code. Not that scares me, but if there is a glitch for some reason, what is your what kind of recourse do you have? Who are you going to call up, right? If Pancake Swap in this particular case messes up, somehow it gets a glitch in it, and the exchange between Ethereum and Bitcoin is off, by a considerable amount. How are you going to get that fixed? I just don't know. I'm still new enough that I'm staying away from those things at this point in time. A lot of people that have been doing this for a while talk about get it off of the exchange, get it into a wallet, so forth and so on. And I'm not saying that like I'm making fun of them. I'm just not there yet. I'm perfectly fine, and your average person is going to be perfectly fine with keeping their tokens on the exchange. Hey man, how's it going? Been doing good, my friend. Living large, as they say. I am very super excited about this whole thing, about the crypto, market. I've probably completely alienated a portion of my original audience. I've got 500 subscribers right now. Many of those probably came to this channel for different reasons, so I hope that they will stay and join with me in this new journey to become financially free. I'm not in a hurry. I'm excited literally every day about what it's going to do, but at the same time I'm hopefully developing nerves of steel, if you will, to hopefully not make rash decisions or decisions based on emotion. It's just like, I think we've talked about this before, but I'm honestly unemotional about, let's say, Ethereum. If Cardano, and I think this is a good way to hedge your bets, and this is what I like about Cardano so much, and other things potentially as well, but Cardano I think has all the potential in the world to at least be an alternative. It's something that can coexist with Ethereum, and someday maybe it's 10 years from now, become more prominent than Ethereum. So who knows? But it's exciting to me that I can get into a coin like Cardano at a point in time where it's still affordable for someone like myself, and for, I think, a lot of my audience, those that are joining. And I'm super excited about what the future holds, and VeChain as well at 18 cents today. If I had more money to buy into, I would have bought more VeChain, I guarantee you, today, and Cardano. I mean, I am, as I said earlier, I'm kind of done with my day trading kind of thing. I was doing it to learn. I was doing it to build up a little bit more capital so that I could get the Ethereum that I wanted to have. That worked out, thankfully. Now it's more of, okay, next month, in the next couple of weeks, when I can put more into it, I'm spending the time that I can't put more money into it, thinking about, am I going to add to some of the coins that I already have? Am I going to add something to my portfolio? So it's actually really exciting, but it is time consuming. You're right, Mad Dog. For sure. When do you think the markets will crash? That's a good question. So, I'm learning, like many of you maybe are, many of you maybe have already been through some of these, bear or bull and bear markets. There are a lot of people that, let's talk about Bitcoin for just a moment, since you ask, and then we'll get back to the altcoins. At times I tend to, give credit to those that have obviously been around for years, been through multiple cycles, and have, sizable portfolios. Try to, evaluate that they must know what they're talking about to a certain extent, although I have to obviously ultimately make my own decision. But when I look at some of these subject matter experts, I'll use that term, there are those that believe that Bitcoin could see, which would mean I think other things would come along with it, but could end up having a super cycle this time, which would mean it would extend beyond a typical kind of like about a 4-year cycle. Because about every 4 years, it's actually after so many Bitcoin have been mined. I don't remember the exact number, but most cycles of quote unquote halving of the Bitcoin, it normally takes about 4 years to do that, and that also typically, from what I understand, kind of roughly coincides with switching from a bull market to a bear market. So, but here's although I don't know when it's exactly going to come. Excuse me for the cough. I'm, thinking that it's probably at least, I would say, who knows? October, November, we may start seeing some more bear type activity. But here's my strategy for dealing with that. This is why you have to be, in my mind, kind of patient, because I can see where, and even my own mind, I'm like, I just want to put more and more in there, right? I mean, literally things that I would spend money on previous to getting into this, I'm not spending money on those things because I want to use it to grow it. When you see for the first time even 50% return, and it's only been 2 months, but now 112% return, it's like, okay, I want to do this while I can, and there's always time later to consume, right? So my strategy, so I'll get back to that, is I want to be in a position where I can buy more in those coins that I know have, going to be around long term, or that I believe are. You never know for sure, right? But those coins that are here today, gone tomorrow, where you can make maybe a lot of money on, if you time it right. People that can do that and have the time for that and have the patience for that, if you will, and the able to deal with what all that brings, then I'm all for those people doing that. A lot of people actually, some people do well, probably more people don't. But that being said, my strategy is to basically buy in the dips and hold. I don't plan on selling. I don't plan on owning anything that I believe is not going to recover and come out better in the next bull cycle. So I'm not 100% certain when we're going to get into that bear cycle, but it's surely coming, and they've always come. Just don't know when it will be. But and here's the other thing, there's tax implications, obviously, as tempting as it might be to take let's say $2,000 per coin profit right here, right now, I would just rather wait, pay long-term capital gains on it, knowing that it's going to get to there eventually. And I'm 5 years out. My goal is to put money into this that I won't need until I get ready to take it out. I bought it early on. Yep. Hey, you talking about, which one you talking about, Mad Dog? Shiba, okay, bought Shiba Inu. I'm like, yep. Do you think it should just let it build? I mean, here's my opinion, Aaron. Again, it's only an opinion, right? It's not advice. It's not, for me, it's not something that I have the time to look at. So if you put it, what I mean by that, I guess, if you buy some and then just walk away and see what happens, sure. But here's the problem potentially with that. If it's going to have this run and then level out and never get above a certain amount again, then even if it's $200 that you put in there, hopefully you get your $200 back at least. So I think something like these type of coins, the Shiba, or even a Dogecoin for that matter, or SafeMoon, I wouldn't be able to just put some money in and walk away from them as much as I would be able to some of these others, right? Like Cardano, VeChain, Matic, Ethereum, even for that matter. A portion of a Bitcoin. I can't actually afford a full Bitcoin. But by the way, today, if any time this week would have been a good time to buy either a full Bitcoin or a partial Bitcoin, today would have been a good day to do that, because it was down almost or over $4,000, I think almost $5,000. And I am pretty convinced as well, based upon all the research I've done and all the things that I've taken in, Bitcoin is on its way to 200,000 for sure. Most likely 1 million one of these days. Again, with only 21 million of them that will ever be in existence. And actually, it's not even that much, because from what I hear, they estimate that about 20% of Bitcoin is lost forever. The people that got in on it early lost their wallets, lost the information on how to get it, forever lost. So, but we'll still call it 21 million. I believe that it probably is going to be at some point the backbone of some kind of worldwide monetary system of some sort. It may not. I'm not suggesting it's going to replace necessarily fiat currency, because governments aren't going to want that, but it's going to be in some way or another a part of everyday life, I would think. And if it's going to 1 million, if it is going to 1 million within the next 10 years, I want to own at least one Bitcoin. That's my goal. I don't know if I will ever get there. I just want to own at least one, and then invest in all of these others that I've been talking about, and others that I come to, that come along. Snowball, okay. Yeah, I'll take a look at that. So Snowball, SBT, we'll look at it right now. Why not? Let me pull it up. All right, so here is Snowball, been requested, bring it up. So market cap is obviously pretty small, but as you said, it's so if we look at the 7-day, so I guess you're saying it took a massive went down a whole bunch. I mean, I guess if I don't know anything about what Snowball is, and I don't know what happened, but something, to your point, something really crazy happened to this. let's see what it is a multi-chain aggregator. Okay, for yield farming. There are so many DeFi projects out there. It's just honestly mind-blowing. But I don't know. That is a look at the volume too. I mean, all this volume down here, and then even the volume just drops off like crazy. I mean, that's really interesting. I don't know. I'd have to spend more time analyzing that to try to figure out maybe what it is, or what's causing that. But that's really interesting. Yep, I agree. Play with money you can lose. Hey, again, this part has not changed with me, at least, with regards to, what I've said before. We're all going to have different strategies. We're all going to have a little bit different approach. Some of us have more time than others. Some of us have more resources than others. Some of us, again, our goals are, maybe for some of us, we have a 10-year strategy that is aligned with how much money we can put into it, how much time we can put into it. Others have more time, more money, or any combination of all of those. And so we're all going to approach it differently, but we can still be a community here and share thoughts and ideas, and we're all going to land on something a little bit different. But again, I still hope that Dogecoin works out for those that are still in it. Like I said, I may reinvest in it. I will say this, and it may never get there. I can't see myself buying back into Dogecoin unless it gets back down to 30 cents or something like that. Me personally, again, it's just me. I won't even consider it because, again, I think that VeChain, Matic even, and others that are under $1, and even a few things that are over $1 right now, have a much better chance of 10x and beyond. I think Dogecoin, maybe 5x, 5x from $1, I'll say. So maybe it has the ability to get to 5. I don't see it getting to 10. I used to think that it could in my exuberance, and to a certain extent, I'll say for me, and with less knowledge, at least, I'll say it that way, rather than maybe the way I was going to say it, because I don't want to offend anyone. It's truly directed to me, though. Now with 2 months of studying, learning, spending tons and tons of hours, I've gotten I have more to think about, right? More inputs to make my decisions based upon. Again, that's for me. So for me, when there are again things like VeChain, which solving very specific problems in the supply chain area, and I think we all know how hard hit supply chains were during the worst of times with COVID-19. The next time we have something similar to that, whether it's a pandemic or some other kind of thing, I guarantee you, because this is close to me because of what I do actually for a day job for a living, supply chain management, I know how a lot of companies were unprepared, and VeChain, again, especially focuses on that. HBAR is another one that focuses on supply chain. I think it's also, I'm going to look it up real quick because I don't remember the price, but it is also arguably a good Hedera. HBAR has some potential. The only thing I don't necessarily like about it is that it's not really a public blockchain in the same sense that some of the others are, because you've got corporations involved. I mean, price-wise, not too bad, right? 27 cents right now, has been as low as 25 today. A lot of people say it has a lot of potential, and so again, even with my own philosophy being more about honestly not being emotional about it, but how is it going to perform, then maybe I need to get over the fact that it's not quite like your traditional blockchain from a mentality perspective. But it says it's a public network, right? But if you look at some of the companies involved, then you notice that it's Boeing and a number of others. I don't remember them even all. But Hedera, Hashgraph, or HBAR may also be something to look into. Your money, your vacation money is in Binance. Man, I hope you get that figured out. Where do you buy HBAR? Let's look again here real quick. This will tell us, because I don't actually know, but we can look here on the exchanges, and there's probably other ways. I have not ventured into the decentralized exchanges, the DEX, so let's look at all markets and see. So Binance, so you should be able to get it at Binance US since you have a Binance account, unless you don't want to use them for a while. Gate.io is another platform I've been looking into. I don't actually know if that's US based or not. That may or may not be an issue for some. OKEX, I think that's also the same company that has OKCoin, which is another exchange. Oh, here's OKCoin. So, yeah. You can just go to coinmarket.cap if you want also and look up the same way I am. I mean, it's a lot of places, but I mean, I say that. I'm curious also, even though it's not listed. I'm going to go to Gemini and just see if it's on there as well. Well, I thought I was. I'm spelling it wrong. Okay. So I'm logging in here real quick. And then I'm just going to see if HBAR is even available. No, it's not. Of course, it wasn't listed on CoinMarketCap. But anyway, you got Binance US, and I believe that's one of the ones that you're on there. Let's look here at something I thought was interesting as well. I'm curious for, again, whether you're live or watching the replay, would be interested to get your take on this. I've shared my position on this on Twitter just because sometimes I can't leave good enough alone or just ignore it, but there is. And it's perfectly fine if someone thinks it's good or not good or whatever. But, Saturday night, prior to Saturday Night Live, Barry Silbert, which is the founder of Grayscale, which, has one of the biggest Bitcoin trust out there, or it may be the biggest. And so that's one way that investors that don't want to buy, I guess, directly into the crypto space can buy, basically on the stock market platforms, can basically get exposure to Bitcoin by doing that. But anyway, he shorted Dogecoin the night of Saturday Night Live and actually made it known to everyone. And then some people got all bent out of shape. Now, him making it public, it's like, okay, yeah, maybe he was trying to be elitist. Maybe he was trying to put it in someone's face or whatever. But if we look at it at the root of it, that is a strategy that's used all the time to short something, to buy, to short it. Calls, puts, futures, all of those kinds of things you can do. So I'm 100% unemotional about the fact that he did that. If anything, the fact that he made it known publicly, might have given some people some hints of what they were up against. So you could argue that he did a favor. To assume that he shouldn't have even done it, I think that's kind of silly. But I do want to hear your thoughts. It's a strategy. It's his money to either win or lose. He doesn't owe anyone anything. No one else owes him anything either. Now, again, I love the community aspect of all this, but the Dogecoin community or any of these other communities, I know it's partly probably a generational thing. Some people probably won't like that characterization, or a generational thing, or a group of people that would like to be a part of a generation that they're not actually a part of. But I think there's a mentality out there to a certain extent that, hey, someone owes me something. Someone needs to understand that I have a goal, and how dare them do something that's actually commonplace, that actually may be a problem with the goal that I have. So most of the Dogecoin community, I think, is cordial and all good, but someone's making a big deal out of this, wanting people to send them a Venmo so they can put out a t-shirt and all that. And I'm like, I just think that's kind of silly. I'm sorry, but that's my thought. You guys may have seen this, but again, Barry Silbert tweeted out, okay, Doge peeps, it's been fun. Welcome to crypto. He may not have ever even owned any. I don't know. But the time has come for you to convert your Doge to Bitcoin, basically, right? And then the part that was kind of like the, thumb in your face kind of thing, disclosure, we've gone short Doge. Now, here's the other thing, though, that I think is interesting. This certainly hasn't been, I don't think, widely publicized in everywhere, all the Dogecoin community and stuff. He's also said that he would donate $1 million to charity if Dogecoin gets to $1 before the end of May, right? So him selling it short is only him making making some determination on where he thinks the price is going to go. That's not what's going to force the price to go there. But I think we all know, everyone on this, at least the regulars here, know that the whales have a lot of impact. I hate to say, but I think some of the tweets by Elon and his appearance on Saturday Night Live, and then the announcement of the SpaceX trip to the moon being paid in Dogecoin, those types of things seem to be having less impact on the price. I don't really know what that means, but maybe it doesn't mean anything. I'm not sure. Yep, I agree, Mad Dog. It definitely builds it up. Yeah, so I had that up. Let me see if I still have that. I had the article at one point where it talks about that. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see if I can find it again. Yep, here we go. I have this article at least. There's a ton of them out there. But there's this one. SpaceX claims it will accept Dogecoin as payment for an upcoming moon mission. Who all watched the Saturday Night Live? I didn't get to watch it live, but I did watch it afterwards. But it says SpaceX is SpaceX is claiming it will accept Dogecoin, the somewhat satirical blah, 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 as payment for an upcoming mission. A Canadian company called Geometric Energy Corporation confirmed that it will pay SpaceX solely in Dogecoin in order to secure a spot for an 88 excuse me. So they're not paying for the whole mission, right? I don't think this mission is exclusively for this 88-pound satellite. Maybe it is, but I think the way this works is that they're basically probably have multiple companies that they're working with to add, do something. A portion of the payload is being paid for, by various different companies. But anyway, it says an 88-pound satellite on a mission called Doge 1. So, that's cool, right? But this was plastered all over the news, and from what I can tell, had literally almost zero impact on the price today. So I don't know what that tells us, but it might be reason for concern if Dogecoin gets most of its value, if you will, from an upward motion from this kind of thing. Didn't seem to make an impact. 420 didn't have much of an impact either. It remains to be seen. It has been postulated, if I can use that word, or it has been shared, or the presumption is that there will be a reaction to the Saturday Night Live video, but it will be delayed by 4 to 7 days, because that's how long it takes to set up accounts and all that kind of thing. Now, I think it's still a large percentage of people that are buying Dogecoin, as much as they hate Robinhood. A lot of them are still buying it on Robinhood, and most people, I know I did, can get the Robinhood account in less than a day. Their buying power policy is pretty good. You get $1,000 almost immediately. For some, if they're buying thousands and thousands of dollars, obviously it takes longer. It will take up to 5 days if they're doing that. So, but at least $1,000 worth of it, or on some of the other platforms like Gemini, I think you can get up to 5,000. I know you can also on, or if you do Robinhood Gold, which is just $5, you could drop it the next month. With Robinhood Gold, you can have up to $5,000. With Voyager, where you can also buy Dogecoin, it's almost immediate for a lot of people. Anyway, point is, it says this is no joke. Geometric Energy Corporation, CEO Samuel Reed said via phone. Okay, that's all. That's no further comment. But anyway, Dogecoin, however, we know that part. Okay, so that's the news on that. It says the announcement that Musk-based company would accept Dogecoin as payment came the day after the appearance on Saturday Night Live. Musk said during the segment of the show the coin was a hustle. Later plunged 40%. So it was just obviously not the response, or the Dogecoin did not perform the way that I'm sure people were hoping that it would. I honestly thought that it would maybe get close to $1, but when Saturday, I thought it was probably going to get there by Friday or early Saturday if it was going to. Once I saw that it wasn't, I'm like, okay, I would be putting in a limit sell if it were me at maybe 80 cents. And even that wasn't enough, because it didn't get over 80 cents. It got to 78, I think, or so. But anyway. Yep, he did. So, anyway, just kind of in summary, I did want to, highlight the fact that, in my opinion, that VeChain was a good buy at its current price. It's been lower. It may go even a little bit more. Lower. I don't know if today is an indication of tomorrow, or if today was an unusual day What I do know on Ethereum, for example, I'm not going to bother bringing up the screen, but Ethereum, went down quite a bit, and I might have already mentioned this. We're almost an hour in now, so I apologize if I already mentioned this, but Ethereum had a lot of liquidation. I did mention it, but 300 million in liquidation. And again, now this just becomes a summary of what I've already said then, that most likely created the downward pressure, liquidating, selling it, basically selling it off, bringing down the price. But I mean, Ethereum is back up to 3,900, so that was short-lived. Who knows? In the next hour, it could be back up above 4,000, 4,200 and change, I think, was the high. So it quickly recovered. This does support my my point, or my assertion, that if you can put money in good quality coins that have proven that they can hang around through thick and thin, through bull and bear cycles, and have been around for a while, that you can certainly probably, at least those that have been on, generally speaking, an upward trajectory, then I think you want to make those coins maybe the base of your portfolio, and then certainly go out and experiment with, if you will, take a chance on some of these other coins that may only be a pump and dump. You gotta be, I guess, savvy enough to catch it at the right time. You may only have one opportunity. You may have multiple opportunities. It's hard to know. But I do want to say thanks, everyone, for joining tonight. I'll hang out here for another couple of minutes if you have more questions or things that you'd like to share, bring out there. But again, VeChain, for me, Matic, I got some of that today through doing this Coinbase education. Other interesting thing I will tell you, on Coinbase, I don't know if it's because they were earned through this education process, but I transferred them I earned 3 different coins, and I honestly don't even remember them all now. Graph was one of them. XLM, I think, or something like that was another. But anyway, I converted them all to Matic, and on Coinbase, and you don't have to sell it first to US dollars and then turn around and buy something else. You can actually do a transfer from one crypto token to the other, and then there was no exchange price. I mean, they didn't charge me anything to do it. I know Coinbase has the reputation of being fairly expensive with their transactions. That's why I don't use them. I'm pretty certain that in the near future, certainly probably by next year at least, I'm sure I will be transacting more on some of these quote-unquote more traditional exchanges. Gemini looks like one that I'm going to like. Again, I will say I really do like Voyager, and the thing I like about Voyager is it is easy to use, and I actually thought I had something up here. Oh, I see. Let me see if I've got it here. Yeah. I'm going to add that. So there's my Voyager link. But other than the fact that twice when I've went to use it, mostly just to see how my portfolio was doing, I had the warning that they were having difficulty, and it was within a few minutes available again. So obviously, if it was during a critical time where I wanted to take advantage of a dip that was maybe going to be short-lived, or take advantage of a new all-time high, that kind of thing, that could be problematic. I do trust that they're working hard to scale their systems. And then the one other thing that I'm waiting on is the web-based platform. It's in beta right now, from what I understand. But like I said last night, 90% of the coins that I want to be invested in are available, and there is no transaction fee. Now, yes, there's a spread, and there are those that have said that they take more than you would think. But anyway, it's I've not seen a big issue with it. I normally try to time my buys and my sells. I have done limit sell and limit order on Voyager, and those transactions have been executed. So, and I've also done market buys, not sold anything. I say I did a market sell, but it's only been it's only been limit orders right now. But you'll have to go and watch the video here a few days ago where I talk about passive income. Just a few days ago, talk more about Voyager and not only their interest program where you can earn interest on your coins, but also their loyalty program with their own loyalty token called VGX. And VGX, I think that has some promise as well. So that's where we're going to leave it tonight. Would like to invite you back, whether you're watching now on the replay or if you're here live. Again, please subscribe. Click on that notification bell and smash the like button. Come follow me on Twitter and Instagram. That would be great. And we will be back again tomorrow night as usual. And until then, hope you have a good one.